What is going on, ladies and gents? Michael or Legacy Kill HD back today with a new Fallout video for you. Today we're going to be discussing some very big information regarding the future of Fallout. And as Fallout 4 comes to an end with DLC, we look forward to see what is next. And this is not involving Bethesda Game Studios. This is actually involving Obsidian Entertainment and how they could be making Fallout New Vegas 2 or Fallout the Boneyard. We're going to be going through all the evidence, all the information that we have over the last couple of years and why it makes the most sense. So first off, we're going to start with an interview that went all the way back to 2013. Rock Paper Shotgun interviewed the Obsidian CEO Fergus Urquhart, and this was actually at a DICE conference, and he actually did talk about the future of Fallout New Vegas and if there would be a Fallout New Vegas 2. And this is what he had to say: "We'd love to do Fallout New Vegas 2. It would be awesome." And then he was asked, "But how would that work? And is Bethesda on board with this idea?" And this is what Urquhart had to say: "If I think of going from Fallout 1 to Fallout 2, we tried to associate the two areas somewhat closely," he explained to Rock Paper Shotgun. "It wasn't just, oh, we're going to do this 2,000 miles from here. So I think if we're going to do Fallout New Vegas 2 or just a new Fallout, we would probably separate it from what, obviously Bethesda Game Studios, we'd keep it on the West Coast because we're West Coast people. They're East Coast. So it makes sense." And then he followed later on with, "And we need an interesting confined area. So I mean, it could be LA, Fallout LA. That would be interesting. It'd probably be the Boneyard, which is from Fallout 1. It could be very different. It would be almost a Walking Dead meets Fallout-like thing because of all the radiation." Obviously, if you're not sure what he's discussing, he's saying that the Boneyard, pretty much, if you are not familiar, was devastated with bombs. It's known as the Boneyard just because of all the dead bodies and skeletons everywhere. And then later on, Bethesda's Todd Howard was actually asked about this by the same interviewer, and he gave his 2 cents. He pretty much reiterated what Urquhart's sentiment was, and he said nothing was set in stone, but New Vegas was great, and having another go at it certainly makes an awful lot of sense. So it definitely sounds like Bethesda's Todd Howard was on board at the time. Not sure what his sentiment is now, but it definitely sounds like they were up for it, and I'm sure that Urquhart probably knew that Fallout 4 was coming at that time, or they were working on it. So if we are going to be getting a Fallout New Vegas 2, I'm guessing it's going to be sometime in the near future, as Fallout 4's DLC are about to finish up. It makes sense that maybe in 2017, later on in that year, we get Fallout New Vegas 2 or Fallout the Boneyard. There's actually some very interesting news that came out just in the last couple of years that I also want to mention. Some of this is some rumors I want to strike down real fast, and that is the idea of Fallout New Orleans. Game designer Josh Sawyer, who was obviously involved in the Van Buren project before it was cancelled, posted an Instagram photo saying "Now is the time," with the image being field notes of Louisiana, which a lot of people assumed that this meant Fallout New Orleans. Obsidian Entertainment and himself have confirmed that this is not Fallout related, so we kind of have to strike down that rumor, unfortunately. The idea of seeing some radiated gators probably would have been pretty cool, but unfortunately it just doesn't seem very likely. Although that would be pretty cool just because we really don't know anything about that happened in New Orleans. And, you know, just the idea of going into a whole new environment with new factions, pretty much new everything, really would be cool. But I also expect that we'd see a lot of Mirelurks. But moving on, guys, some other news that actually came out in January of 2016 was from lead writer Eric Fenstermaker, who was actually involved in the development of Fallout New Vegas. He was one of the writers, and he was asked by a fan if his studio, Obsidian Entertainment, was working on a Fallout game, and he actually tweeted responding saying that he loved Fallout, and he stated that they would love to come back and make a new game. So that is just the last of the information that we have about what Obsidian Entertainment could be making. It seems like little teases over the last couple of years, but rounding up all this information, the biggest piece is that Fergus Urquhart interview and also Todd Howard's piece in this. You know, just hearing from those two individuals saying that they really do want to see a Fallout New Vegas 2 has to get your hopes up. As Fallout 3 was to New Vegas, Fallout 4 could be whatever Obsidian Entertainment is working on, and it sounds like, from his opinion, it probably will be Fallout the Boneyard. Now, as he actually said, Fallout the Boneyard has been in a Fallout game. That was all the way back in Fallout 1. We got our first pieces of it. We know some information actually about the Boneyard. We know that by 2189, the Boneyard actually became one of the states of the new California Republic. During this time, it was also referred to the Angels Boneyard. One of the largest cities on NCR territories, the Boneyard, it was a natural choice for many organizations to place their headquarters. Thus, by 2281, the Boneyard is host to the Republic's Reserve and the Followers Boneyard Medical University. And as the NCR now has control over the Boneyard, it has become more stable with multiple but nowhere near all buildings rebuilt, redecorated, and renovated. So it seems like over the last 100 years, the Boneyard has become a very different environment. It looks a lot different, and the NCR has improved in a lot of ways. We also know that one of the key places in the original Fallout 1, Aditum, which is a small industrial district in the southern section of the Boneyard in 2161, and by 2189 it actually becomes a state under the NCR and is renamed to New 80 Tum. But it seems like if we do get this game, the Fallout the Boneyard, it would probably be set somewhere between or right after Fallout 4, or at least the events. I'm sure we wouldn't get any word on what's going on, maybe some little mentions, that'd be the most. Probably no characters or anything, but it definitely would be interesting seeing how they react to the Commonwealth and if we actually do have something to do with synths. And it would also be interesting if we somehow, I know it's been 100 years, but if we get some of the old factions to return, such as maybe the Regulators, the Blades, the Rippers, the Followers of the Apocalypse, and also the Gunrunners. I mean, as Fallout 1 did take place in the Boneyard, I'm sure we would have to get mentions about what happened hundreds of years ago, and maybe those events transpire to what the plot is in the next game. But anyway guys, I want to thank you so much for watching. Make sure you smack that like button if you did enjoy the video or found some informative value out of this. And don't forget to dive into the comment section below. Tell me what you guys think. Do you think New Orleans actually has some legitimacy to it? Or do you think the Boneyard pretty much makes the most sense coming from the actual CEO? But anyway, I want to hear what your thoughts are, and make sure to subscribe for more Fallout New Vegas videos and all kinds of new information and stuff about Bethesda Game Studios and all Bethesda properties. I want to thank you once again, and see you guys later.